huge honor. This is just wonderful. And Ronnie, I can't thank you enough for coming down today and saying such beautiful things. I so appreciate that. I mean, there's so many people that have guided me to this point, but you know, artists that I grew up listening to in Australia, Ronnie, you're so amongst them all. And I think it's that contemporary side of this genre, which is so multifaceted, that really brought me to this town. And I was thinking about when I first came, which was in 1989, and none of these buildings, I'm looking around and nothing was here. I mean, not the arena, not the Hilton, not the AT&T building, I mean, nothing around here was here. The Renaissance Hotel was the tallest building in town, I seem to recall. But I brought a demo tape with me, with about 4 or 5 songs, and I walked up and down 16th and 17th Ave and took it into a lot of people that would, well, when I say a lot, about 4, that would see me. And nobody really listened to it. They did enough to know it wasn't worth listening to. And but in the process of that, the second I got here, I loved this town. I grew up with all these records in my my dad's record collection, and on the back of them it all said recorded in Nashville, Tennessee. So as a 7-year-old boy, I just went, well, that's where I'm going to go to make music, is Nashville, Tennessee. Wherever that is, I'm going there. And I didn't know how I'd get here, when I would get here, but that was it. It was so deeply predestined for me to come. And from artists like Ronnie that I grew up to, and songs I played in my cover bands, I just wanted to come to this magical place. And I remember coming, and it was May, June of '89, and it was Magic Town for me. And Music Row was the most magical little village, and I didn't want to go back to Australia. I just wanted to stay there, and so, you know, what happened was I played my demo to all these people, and I didn't get anybody liking anything, and I went back to Australia and sort of made a plan for when to come back. How should I come back? How can I do it? And I got one letter from a lady called Mary Martin, who was the head of A&R at RCA Records at the time. And she sent that letter to me in Australia. And I remember just being excited that there was something from Nashville that arrived for me. And she said in the letter that I listened to your music and I really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, right now, country music is in a traditional cycle, and your music doesn't really suit that. But I hope you can come back to Nashville and find a home, and just keep doing what you're doing. And what I took from that letter was it was perfect. It was exactly what I needed to hear. It was so helpful to me because because I grew up with guys like Ronnie and more contemporary country artists. I was out of sync with what was going on in the year that they signed Garth, in the year they signed Alan Jackson, and Clint Black was dominating the radio. I didn't fit into any of that. But country music is such a big genre, and the artist I grew up with, like Ronnie, was kind of what I was doing. So I was excited to get back to town, find a home, and just hope that my style would eventually suit. And for however many years it took, and there was a lot of them, I was grateful that this town was a great place to live in, and still is. And even more so, this town, this will be 20 years next year since I moved here, and I've had the absolute lowest lows of my life and the complete highest of highs have all happened in Nashville. And some of those great parts have been meeting people. There are a lot of them are here today, sitting on the bride's side of the aisle. I wasn't sure which side of the church to put them on, but there they are. And then when I met my wife and brought her to town, and crossed my fingers that she would love it as much as I do. And so I thought, just to make sure, I'll take her to Leaper's Fork, because you gotta love it when you come to Leaper's Fork. And so I took her out there, and at Franklin, Leaper's Fork, and she loved it. And I said, would you want to live here? And she said, absolutely. And so that was a good day. And then we were being so blessed to be embraced in this community, and we then gave birth to our first girl, Sunday Rose, at the Baptist Hospital here in town in 2007. And then in 2010, we gave birth to we brought into the world our second girl, Faith Margaret, in Centennial Hospital. So we have two little Southern Belles. People used to ask us, do you think they're going to have an American accent or Australian? And I said, I think they'll probably say, g'day y'all. But to come from just that beginning to this and seeing these stars on the Walk of Fame and being next to Bill Anderson and Reba McEntire, I mean, good Lord, this is, it's quite surreal. And to have Ronnie Millsap inducting me is quite surreal. And so, for anybody out there that's from any little hamlet on the whole horizon who has any aspirations to come to town, it's absolutely doable. If some little kid from some small nowhere town in the middle of Australia can do it, you absolutely can do it too. So thank you very much, Ed. Thank you to everybody at GAC. Butch, thank you to all you and your fine gang for this honor. And Bill, thank you. And to everybody out there, the fans especially, I really appreciate your all support. This is a huge, huge honor, and I'm so thrilled I can share it with my wife today. Baby girl, I love you so much. I'm so glad that you're here. And to all my team, everybody, thank you so much. I could spend far too long thanking people, but it means more to me than I can describe, so thank you, and I love you all. God bless.